Hello, everybody. My name is Alec Capel, and I am a student marriage and family therapist. And today's video is about how you can gain confidence at any age. Confidence is sort of an elusive thing for some of us. We look at other people who just seem to exude it, who seem to have, every bit of confidence in the world to go out and do whatever they want. They're not afraid of anything or anybody. And I know that I've looked at that a lot and I've become jealous because I want that confidence. I want to be able to go and do those things. I want to not be held back by fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of not knowing, what I'm doing in this particular place, right? So I'm on vacation up in the mountains, and just the other day I saw these young men who were dressed in full snowboarding gear, making their way down to a public bus station to go up to a snow slope and have some fun. And I thought to myself, I'd be so scared of looking stupid, of not looking like what like I knew what I was doing, of getting on the bus and going to the wrong place, and feeling like people were judging me, and then having a really terrible time, and all of these terrible thoughts came through. And these guys were 15 years younger than me, at least. So confidence is something that we all want, and I assure you, we can all have it at any age. So the main points of this video are really going to be that confidence isn't given, it's built. It doesn't matter what age you are, you can build confidence. And I'm going to have some practical tips from my experience about how to actually build confidence. So let's talk a little bit more about confidence. Confidence doesn't just show up one day, right? And nobody's born with it. None of us are born with confidence. We're all born with, skin. That's about it, right? Skin and organs and brain, but not confidence. That comes from environment. That comes from what we do and what we choose to do. And some of us are at a disadvantage, right? I've always kind of been a big guy, right? I build muscle super easy. Compared to guys who don't, I have an advantage. But I still have to put in the work. And they still have to put in the work for whatever muscle they grow. And so just like getting in the gym and working out, it doesn't just happen one day. We don't go and work out once and boom, we're buff. We have to consistently work at building this confidence. It's like a muscle. You don't pay for it. You can't buy it. You might get cheat a little bit with muscle building, but with confidence, it comes through consistent and real experiences that you put yourself out there to be in a place to express yourself to people who have the opportunity to respond. Now, it does take risk. All confidence comes with the risk that someone else isn't going to like you, that there's going to be an issue, that you are going to look stupid, or you're going to do something stupid, right? We've all done stupid things, but the payoff of that risk is that we build the confidence so that those downsides don't feel as bad, right? If you only had $100 to your name and I asked you for $20, that's a fifth of all of your money. That's huge. But if you risked that money, built it up, and you had $1 million and I asked you for 20, you're not going to think about it. Confidence is the same way. When we build it up, the bigger it is, the more we have, the more we've risked, the less those little things bother us because we know they're just not worth that much. They're not that hard of a hit against us. So, don't give up in the beginning. Confidence, like muscle, like wealth, it takes time to build it. But luckily, unlike wealth, it is not subject to the fluctuations of the stock market, and so you can build it a little bit faster than wealth. So I want to talk to you about a few of the practical things that I've done to build that up. Just as soon as we kind of talk about age here. This is something that I won't spend a lot of time on, right? Because I think it's sort of self-evident. But for those of you who watch this and go, but I'm too old. It's too late for me. It's never too late. It only takes, you could build up confidence in a few months. You can change big things that are important to you in a few months. I guarantee you have more confidence than you give yourself credit for already. And for me, one of the biggest factors of confidence is that what often holds us back from trying to build it is that we really want a human connection. We want to connect with people. We want to be able to show ourselves, whether we're nerdy, we have weird music tastes, or whatever. We want to dress a little bit more odd than what we already do, but we're afraid people won't accept any of that. What we really want is we want to have the confidence to be able to present ourselves and not be hurt by other people rejecting us. That's really what confidence is there to do, is to give us the ability to present all of who we are to other people, flaws and all. And so age doesn't matter. Confidence doesn't care how old you are. It cares how consistent you are at trying to express yourself and be who you already are. It's not hard to be who we are, but it is hard to show others who we are. And I get it. It's scary. I've been there. You don't want to be judged. But, at some point you're going to have to risk in order to grow. Otherwise, you're going to sit there with that $100 and somebody's going to ask for $1 every other day. And then one day you're not going to have anything. And you don't want to end up there. So build that confidence and, do it now. Don't do it later. So a couple practical tips here that I have. One of the first things that I ever did to build confidence was I tried to build confidence in myself. That's kind of it's a low level of risk, right? It's a little less risk than going out and kind of relying on strangers to give you compliments or, tell you certain things about your hobbies when you express that you're, really into Star Wars or something. And they go, oh, Star Wars? Isn't that for nerds? Or, I'm a 34-year-old who plays Minecraft. And they go, oh, Minecraft, that's a kid's game. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. I can build a computer in Minecraft, but, yeah, sure, it's a kid's game. So, when you go and express those things to people, there's a little more risk that comes with other people. But what you can do first off is kind of do that with yourself. Express the things that you really want to see from yourself that you can do in your home. Like, take for example, I was really bad about not brushing my teeth for a long time. And so I started working toward okay, I brush my teeth every other night. Okay, now that I brush it every other night, I'll brush my teeth, one morning of the week. And that turned into 2 mornings and 3 mornings and 4 mornings. Now I brush my teeth twice a day. You do not start with, okay, I only brush my teeth once a week right now. I'm going to build confidence by brushing my teeth every day, twice a day going forward. Unfortunately, that's a lofty goal. That's like being able to, that's like curling 10 pounds and walking into the gym and going, okay, I'm going to curl that 50. You got to work your way up. You got to build your way up to doing that. And those small little promises to yourself are a great way of doing it, because every time you break a promise to yourself, you chip away at your own confidence. But every time you keep one, you add more to the bank, right? And it's a wonderful process. So doing those things feeds your ability to do more later on, because the more of those little things you do, the more reserves you have in the tank to do bigger things, to build even more confidence. If you're big into video game playing, it's like when you start out in a new game and you don't have any money or skills or stats. You slowly build up, and the more you build up, the bigger the things that you get to fight, the more exponential the stats, accumulate. So it doesn't take long for that process to kind of snowball, and then, by the end of 3 months, you're 5 times further than you thought you'd ever be. One of the things that I got a piece of advice from a professional in my field when I was in finance that really helped me out with just building my confidence talking to people was physical presence. Pull your shoulders up, throw your shoulders back a little bit. Kind of, don't get them too tight. Don't put them too far back, right? You just kind of want them in a natural position where they can wiggle a little bit. Keep your spine straight, lift your head up just a hair, and then use your voice. talk from down here a little bit. It's almost as if you were trying to sing in a baritone. Kind of find the deepest you can go, and then sort of bring that up to where it's not a strain, but it's comfortable. I could talk like this for a couple of hours, but I can't talk like that forever. I'm eventually going to go back to my normal super high-pitched self because I'm more comfortable with that. But at first, a little bit of that radio voice, that presence, that sound, it really adds to the way people look at you. You get a little bit more of a presence so that you're heard. And that's huge. When you're out with people, if you're real meek and quiet, you're not really wanting to say what you're saying, and people are going, huh? Huh? I can't hear you, huh? You need to be heard. Being heard is what makes us feel good as people. We want people to hear us in the sense of actually being able to hear us and also being able to see that we are people who are worthy of love, right? That whole thing of being heard. And so kind of changing those little physical aspects will really improve that. The last thing here is doing something that's hard. Pick something a little bit bigger than the little self-trust things. Once you've built up a reserve of trust in yourself, pick something that scares you. And I don't mean like, picking up a spider necessarily, although that actually, when I think of that actually could work. But I mean like going to the gym once, or calling a doctor and setting a doctor's appointment or something like that. Pick that big thing that scares you and then break it down into the most minimum thing that you can do. I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, I started working out. I was so terrified to go to the gym. You know what I did? I walked into the gym and I just sort of walked to the other end, and then I turned around and I left. That was a premeditated, pre-planned step that I was taking because I knew that I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the strength yet to actually go and work out in the gym. I just wanted to familiarize myself. I wanted to see the inside of it. I wanted to know that I could walk through the door. And so that's all I did. And that was enough. That wore me out. I went home. I was sweating. I was scared. I mean, that terrified me. It was all I did was walk in and walk out. And that's it. And sometimes, and you could even do it, just pull up to the gym. Just pull up into the parking lot, sit there for a couple of minutes, and leave. Sometimes that is enough. If that's all you can do, do it. If it scares you, do it. But it's okay if you can't do the whole thing all at once. Eat the elephant one bite at a time, one little bite at a time, and eventually you're going to get there. But small bites are fine. I mean, I did that in so many different things, more times than I could count. And even today, after 2 years of going to a gym consistently, I'm up here at a strange gym, and I almost didn't go today because I was scared to go in this gym because there's lots of fit and healthy people up here in Colorado. We're up in, high elevation, low oxygen training, lots of runners, lots of super healthy people. And I'm over here in my cotton t-shirt and, my scruffy beard everywhere. And I feel like an idiot. I feel like I don't know what I'm, look like I don't know what I'm doing. I've still got a little bit of a pudge on my belly because I came down from about 250 pounds to 220. So I'm not skinny yet. And all these people are super fit. And I was like, I don't want to do it. And you know what I told myself? I said, you know what? Let's just go up there. We'll sit in the parking lot. And if I don't want to go in, then I won't. And you get to give yourself permission to do that. Sometimes, some days, we don't have the reserves or energy to do it. And that's okay. But you gotta try. You gotta try to do the hard thing, even if it's just the smallest piece of it possible. So I really hope this helps. It's not a comprehensive video by any means. There's a lot more to building confidence. If you want to see more content like this, if you want me to talk more extensively about some of the things that I've done to build confidence in specific areas, like my professional life, right? I am I do have 10 years of experience as a financial planner, helping, hundreds of millionaires. And, I am, an IRS enrolled agent. I have certifications. I've taken tests. I have state licensing. I have, I'm almost through 2 master's degrees. I've done a lot of stuff, even despite the fear. And so if you want to hear about any of those specific things, let me know, because I can talk to you about, school, work, physical fitness, emotional relationships, any of that. So please, drop a comment and I'll do a video on the most popular item. Thanks. Bye.